Well, the journey began in 2008 when I gave birth to my son, and I discovered that he was born with one ear. So it was very disturbing when the doctor brought him to my husband and I. He was our first son, he was our first child, and we had to, deal with the reality that he looks different. So the journey through that process of not being told about it, we left the hospital not knowing what the condition is and how we're supposed to what we're supposed to do.
Mhm.
So it was very challenging for me. And after a couple of years, I was still trying to see, who do I speak to? What do I do? I then felt that, you know what, God has given me this special child, and there has to be a greater reason for it. And which is what eventually what I did was to say, okay, let me start a support group and see if I can find other parents that are like me, that have children, and the condition is called microtia. So my son's ear, this
Mhm.
side, doesn't have the earlobe.
Ah,
It doesn't have the earlobe, and
uh-huh.
it doesn't have the ear canal.
Okay.
So there was just, nothing there, just a little piece of skin and no hole that gets the sound into the inner ear. So,
Mm.
the doctors didn't know what it is. And we had to, I had to go to Google and find out what it is. And there was no support system, there was nobody to talk to, and I felt alone. So I decided, let me reach out to parents, started a Facebook group, and now I started connecting to other parents who were also going through the same thing like me. And that's how Given Ear Foundation was birthed. Then I decided, okay, let's start out a foundation to create awareness, to help the parents. Because when you give birth, you feel that surely I must have done something wrong. But eventually you find out that no, you didn't. You know, it's just, even now, there's no scientific reason why a child would come out with that type of condition.
It's interesting because I had no idea what it was. I didn't know anything about it till I got this email and I looked at it and I went, wow. And it just made me sit back for a minute and think, oh my gosh, we really just take things for granted, and we just the gratitude that I
Yeah.
felt. And when I read the story, I was like, I can't even imagine in that space. And we just don't take for granted this what we have. So thank you for, sharing your story.
And it does happen though. It's just that a lot of people hide it, with hair. You won't see it. And nobody really focuses on somebody's ears. So, but in most cases, people cover it with their ears because it is quite, I mean, it happens in 1 to 6,000, or to up to between 6 and 8,000 births. So
Mhm.
it is, there is a lot of children out there. And we actually discovered that there's a lot of them that are, and what happens in the hospital back home in Africa, they just send you home and they don't give you much information. Sometimes it happens on both sides. My son was lucky because it was on one side, but other children, it's on both sides. So, yeah, so you have a child who has nothing, like literally nothing on both sides. There's no ear canal on both sides, but most of the time the inner ear is intact. So the sound does get there, but it's like somebody that, let's say you've been thrown inside the pool. If you're inside the water, you can hear the muffled sounds, but you can't hear what they're saying. So, which means that you can't develop speech, you can't speak normally because you can't hear properly. So, what we do as a foundation is we raise the funds, we raise the awareness, we are able to get sponsorships for the hearing devices, because there's a beautiful hearing device called a bone anchored hearing aid, which transports the sound from the bone straight into the inner ear, and the child can hear, and they develop normally, and they have speech and everything. So that's what we've been able to help the children from Africa to basically get a normal life through the foundation.
That is so amazing. And is there a surgery process that could be involved as well
Yeah.
as getting the hearing aid?
Okay, so there are other children who would, they're fine with the ear like that, and all they need is just a hearing aid. And then there are other children who say, you know what, I'm tired of being the stares, I'm tired of the bullying, I'm tired of the questions. Is there something that can be done to help me to live a more normal life? I mean, what moved me one time was a child who said, I just want to wear sunglasses, you know, not the ones that have strings at the back and things, just like to just put a sunglass on normally, or even glasses. I know some of our kids who have challenges with their eyes, they always have to wear those special ones with the strip because there's nothing to hook the sunglass on. So there is a procedure that they do for children. They can have surgery. They use the rib. They just take a part of the rib and then they reconstruct it because it's more like cartilage. It's almost like the same material that is on your nose. That's what they use for the ear. And then other doctors now have become more advanced. They use other materials like the porous, there's the med pore procedure. So there's a lot of them, but because they're so specialized, they're quite expensive. Some parents hide it. A lot of parents hide it. They hide it from society. They don't want people to know. So, and you have to get to the point where you tell them that it is okay. And that once they see other children that walk around with their little ears, and like my son has never, I never hid his ear. He always had short hair. He had always had to deal with the challenges at school, especially at school, because the children have never seen something like that, most of them, and then they'll be wondering, and they will start asking him what happened. Sometimes others will say, "You did you burn your ear from the sun, or what happened, or what cut off your ear," and things like that. So you always had to answer those questions, which was very exhausting for a child, and that affects some of their self-esteem. They feel that, what, I am, there's something wrong with me, but other kids eventually they come out of it. So we try to help them access ear reconstructive surgery for those who want to get their ears corrected. um, so we have partnered with some nonprofits and some surgeons that have been doing amazing work, and they are taking some of our kids from the foundation and they're giving him that gift of a new ear and transforming their lives. And so we're quite excited about that. And we also have the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital that partnered with us to be able to implant some of the hearing aids on the children so that they can be able to hear. So it is a journey. It's not an easy one, but we thank God that we've been able to make some progress. But most importantly, we want to create the awareness and let people know that, you know what, there are children who are born like that. They're special. They're different. They are not disabled because they lead normal, productive lives. And you don't have to feel, you don't have to stare, you don't have to ask questions. Once you see it, you'll know, oh, that child has microtia, and that's it. It shouldn't be something that society doesn't know about.
And
We have support groups, which has been amazing thanks to social media. Now there is, we have a WhatsApp support group. Most of the time you're not prepared for it. You don't know it. Most of the time the scan does not even pick it up. So it's that shock at birth when you just deliver the baby and you see that, wait, my child doesn't have ears or doesn't have one ear. And it's just that shock. And you have to go through that process. But then once the parent has had birth, given birth, we want to come in and just say, you know what, it's okay, your child will do well. We share each other's pictures and say, look at this one. He's doing well in sports. This one is doing that. This one has achieved that. And your child is going to be okay too, which means the world to the parents, because you sort of wanted to know. And we also have some parents that actually have microtia, and they will tell you how well they're doing. Others have achieved so much in life, and it makes them feel that, oh, actually I'm not alone and my child is going to be fine, because that's the concern of every parent. But we know it's going to be a difficult journey. It is difficult. at some point you're going to have to deal with those questions. You're going to have to deal with the bullying. Sometimes you're going to have to deal with it, but as long as you give your child love and support, you know, they'll be able to face the world. And we have the family picnics that we put together, and then they play together. I remember the first picnic we had, my son, when we left, he was like, I didn't know there were other children that look like me. So he was quite excited that there are other children that have the same condition like him. So we encourage that bonding session. We encourage for them to come together. And for other different countries that come physically, we do the Zoom meetings where we meet on Zoom, and we are able to meet other parents from all over Africa, and we just connect like that. Well, the first most important priority is to create the awareness, to reach as many kids, to support the families. And then secondly, the second most important is the hearing. So we have to get the hearing aid to the kids. I remember the oldest child we aided was 12 years old. She had never heard. When we put on that device and she repeated what the mom said, the mom just broke down into tears. So we want to get those children the hearing aids that they need so that they can, achieve. They're not disabled, then they become productive in life, and then we also want to help the children to get the ear surgery. There are some surgeries that are being done currently. Sometimes a lot of them are those botched surgeries because some doctors don't have the experience. So they take a child and they put them under the knife, and the child is thinking or pray, hoping that they're going to get an ear, and they get something that doesn't even look like one. So we want to advocate for that. We want to say, before you give your child to a doctor to do the surgery, please do your research. Get the before and after pictures and know what is. So it is happening a lot. So as a foundation, we're quite passionate about that, to create the awareness, because the parents are so desperate to get the children's ears fixed. And some of the doctors want to learn how to do it. But then, you know what? You can't practice on a child. It's not right. It's not right. They come out even feeling worse and being teased even more, because I've seen the failed surgeries. If you go online and just check the failed surgeries, it is just painful to watch. And then you ask yourself, why would you do that to a child? Why would you practice on a child? That scar is forever. So we want to, reach the parents and say, don't do it. If you get somebody who says, I'm going to try and do it, don't do it. Don't do it. You have to find the ones that have practiced. I mean, you cannot, and I always say, nobody can work on your heart, not just any doctor. So not just any doctor can work on your ears, not just any surgeon can work on your ears. It has to be somebody that is together with, probably, I mean, you can't enter a flight with a there's always a captain and a co-pilot. Go with a captain that will show you what to do, so that you learn how to do it properly, because that's a human being. So that is one of the things we're so passionate about, to advocate for, to create awareness for. Especially Africa becomes a very big victim of the practicing of those procedures. So we're trying to get awareness out there.
So what's happening with the gala? What's coming up? Tell us, what do we have to look forward to?
Well, at the gala, it is our first fundraising gala, and we're so excited. And we are so grateful to Columbus Short for just, availing himself and just, giving back in such a great way. We're excited about a beautiful night of fundraising, auctioning, fun and dance, and just to reach more people, and hopefully to raise as much funds as possible, because the work is a lot that we're doing. So expect a beautiful evening. It is in a beautiful mansion, and the team and Top Dreams has been just, Top Dreams Universal. They are the best. Honestly, they have gone beyond what we had expected, and they've donated actually their time to do this for us. So it is humbling. It is quite humbling, and I just want to say thank you to the CEO Noah for everything that they're doing, and also Ada. She has been doing amazing work for us. Lux Agency. She is just amazing. And we are looking forward to a great evening.
So for people who cannot be there, social media, website, how do they find out more? How do they donate? What do they need to do? Give everybody the 411.
So if you can't be there, we would love you to support. You can go to our website. It's giveanearfoundation.org. Once you get on that website, there's a huge donate button on the left. You just click on it. You can be able to Zelle. You can be able to Cash App. You can be able to just fill in your details there. You can also become a monthly donor. We want those monthly donors that will help us, to be able to keep doing the work. So not just once off. And we are, our social media handles is Give an Ear Foundation on Facebook, and then on Instagram it is Give an Ear. So just follow us, see what we do, and just support the work that we're doing.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I'm happy to help in any way I can. And
Thank
people should get out there, give an ear. We all need it. Thank you so much.
I appreciate the time. Thank you.